Hey, it's Mia, founder of Firewave Wellness, your digital platform for healing, vitality, and holistic health. I'm so excited you're back with our Well-Fed Warrior show. I have Scarlet Ravin here. Hi, Scarlet.
Hey guys.
She is an international best-selling author, you guys. Her book, Follow the Medicine, Awakening Self-Empowerment, is this amazing resource for you to just really dive into what it means to feel confident in all aspects of your life. Right, but specifically for this show, we're talking everything natural detoxification and weight loss. So we're going to tell you about some of the amazing things that she's done with her brand, White Fox Medicinals, and just really kind of honestly make this weight loss journey a lot more fun for you guys. Scarlett, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mia.
Yeah, so I want to kind of start because you've got such a unique story in that your own transformation and how you heal people really started with yourself. And so kind of take us back to those moments.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say the story that I'm about to share could be a direct reflection for other people too. And I find it super important to realize our shadow side and be able to walk through that to feel comfortable in our own body. And we're talking about weight loss and health and physical health. And to have that physical health is really to know yourself, to know your dark side, to know what you've gone through, and then heal it, and then all these other things transpire in a joyful, fun, easy way. So my personal journey was really about being a very sensitive being, having different kind of psychic, spiritual experiences from a young age, and being surrounded by a world that deemed that weird, or I didn't feel like I fit in. And then I had beautiful parents that came from their own lineage of shadow and light, and was going through a lot of different circumstances that felt like abuse to me and felt like I wasn't being protected. And so I shut down, and I turned to animals as my friends, and I turned to plants as my friends. And so I went through my childhood really connecting with the animal and plant kingdom. And I was using a lot of drugs like opiates and not good drugs to dumb down the pain that I had felt from childhood. And I continued to do that until I had an overdose in my early 20s. And in that moment in time, I realized I either have to choose to live and really go for happiness in this life, or I'm going to die, because I was progressing down a road of self-destruction. And I went to Esalen in Big Sur, and I did a workshop called How Our Wounds Can Lead to Healing. And it was the first time I was surrounded by a Gestalt healing therapy situation. I shared my story, and just by sharing my story and having it witnessed by a group of 25 people that I didn't even know, it released the feeling that I needed to cover up the emotions. So I immediately stopped doing drugs. I didn't need rehab or anything. I really just needed to tell my story and be witnessed. And that unlocked a lot of energy for me to then spend the next 15 years of my life studying medicine in different forms. So spiritual medicine, emotional medicine, physical medicine. I lived at Zen centers. I ran raw food detox retreats. I traveled to Sri Lanka. I did things that were just stacked on stacked and stacked certifications, became a massage therapist, became a yoga teacher, studied acupressure, studied with shamans and gurus. I did everything. And it empowered me to feel like I had the tools to then offer to people how they themselves can be supported and walk through their own darkness. And I think for me, a lot of weight gain is shying away from the beauty that I was. It wasn't that I was, at that point in time, it wasn't that I was trying to cover up emotions. It was that I was afraid of stepping into my light. And the more that I ate, the more I had this kind of protective layer around me. And it was like I was not fully embodying myself. It was a super interesting realization at some point in time, where my greatest fear isn't anything rational. It's the fear of my own power. And as soon as I started working with like, wow, I don't need to dumb myself down with food, with drugs or anything. I need to learn how to feel strength walking into my greatest self. And that goes down a whole other road of spiritual transformation and different things. So I got into making medicinal tinctures and salves and massage oils and stuff to kind of help facilitate the journey being more cocooned in like a mother energy. So when we have all these different experiences, we can have our nervous system get fried. And when our nervous system is fried, we can go into the fight or flight symptomatic zone. And that's a huge place where people go into reaction and overeat and kind of do the things that are in the shadow side of their life. And so it's really important to be aware of, are you breathing? Are you fully embodying yourself? What parts of yourself aren't being witnessed? And to have a medicine that can kind of help ease the intensity of what you're going through, it can allow space for a perspective for you to really see which direction's best for you next.
I completely agree. I mean, because it's so, the reflection portion of weight loss and you celebrating the wins when you make good decisions or recalibrating when you need to get, you know, it going again for yourself, like that space, you need that, you know, and if you don't practice that, then that's where, you know, White Fox Medicinals is so supportive and nurturing. And you're right, it does feel like this mother cocoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm excited, Scarlet, because you were generous enough to give me a little gift package, and we're able to like really show everybody what some of these products are. Scarlet does amazing work, you guys, in all things plants, you know, and so what I'm going to show you is CBD and the healing properties, and we'll talk about that, you know, but THC, psilocybin, all of those are just these exploratory things that come from our planet. Like they grow in the ground. Like there's no synthetic things that we're building in a lab somewhere to make it work. Like these are, it's home. It's baseline, you know, DNA, like from the planet, personally, is how I feel about it.
I love what you just said, because for me, one of the realizations I'm coming to with working with plant medicine is it's really not about shifting my internal state. It's more about aligning with the nature around me. And that kind of is synced up with the Tao. And how, like, in that practice, they're really emulating the cycles of nature with non-judgment. And I think the greatest part that people succeed in with self-transformation is they don't judge the stages they're in. And if they're having a day of struggle, they're okay with it. They're like, oh, it's a day of struggle. My physical, mental, and emotional being is going to have every single experience on this planet. And so when you have a hard day come up and you get down on yourself, you just kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater and you're missing the picture. And so to start working with plant medicine and sync up with the fact that there's going to be a spring, summer, a fall, and a winter, and that could transpire in different phases throughout your day. It could transpire in different weeks, like how you shift through those different feelings. When you're in winter, you're barren and you don't have anything to give. And that's frustration. That's, you know, I don't feel like I'm doing anything right. Look, I'm not pretty. When you get into spring, you're luscious, you're juicy, you're wanting to express yourself. So those are those emotional moments. So I'm starting to see a really deep connection between these plants and the spiritual connection of nature to human. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's all part of that bigger hierarchy that you learn in biology, you know, when you're in 7th, 8th grade, right? That we have the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom and the fungi kingdom and all of these different things, and just spending some time in there, you know, because I think when you spend your time overstimulated and you spend your time, you know, on screens all the time, you know, there is that disconnect, because it doesn't come from the soil. Like my laptop didn't come from the soil. I don't know, like aspects of it did, right? The copper and the like high product, totally. But so just remembering those things. Okay, so I want to dive in. We're going to talk about your tranquility tincture, your awareness tincture, and then the massage oil too, which is super cool. So what's really amazing about how Scarlet does these, so I've actually been taking this. I didn't tell you this before we started filming, but I've been taking it like once a day, sometimes even twice a day, and it does help me. I'm a big to-do list person, and it's helping me like not be so obsessed with them. It helps me be like, I am Mia, and this is my external world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like, I don't know, a freeway of, I have no idea which way we're which way I'm running, you know? So this is what it looks like, everybody. And then Scarlett, tell us, you know, it's really cool because you've written all this stuff on the bottle. They can't read it, but how do you put intention on these things? Because they're like alchemically made, like specifically.
Yeah, so our process is extremely different than most companies. I have intentionally kept my company and my batches very small. And so I have all my organic herbs. They're sourced from ethically produced companies. Nothing is over harvested. Everything is organic, from the MCT oil to the hemp itself. And we extract everything over extremely low heat. So we're not losing any of the vitality of the herbs when it's infused into the medicine. And then we do prayer rituals over each batch and ask for the greatest healing possible to come through to people. It's also packaged in Miron glass, which is a violet glass from Switzerland. So when the light hits it, like sunlight or even the lights from your home hit it, only violet rays will enter into the medicine contents. And what that does is increase bioavailability of the medicine for you. So typical situations are when you have a medicine on a shelf, over time, the availability and the potency is declining. However, when you have something packaged in Miron glass, it's the opposite. It's actually increasing because it's receiving light therapy. So we pay a lot of money for that violet glass, but our whole company is super intentional, and I'm very hyper aware of energies and how much they do impact us. And just because we can't see something doesn't mean it's not very important to honor. So I also have totems stated on there. So you can see how there's a whale right now on the cover of the label. And the totem for the whale is really about, like, how do you feel when you see a whale moving through water? You are like grace and relaxation and all of these beautiful feelings of just floating. So the tranquility was specifically designed to nurture and calm the nervous system. And a lot of us are in fight or flight, living in this fast-paced, over Wi-Fi world. Just like getting bombarded, as soon as we get bombarded with Wi-Fi waves, our nervous system kicks up and starts getting fiery, and then that transfers to fight, flight, or freeze. And if we're in fight, flight, or freeze, we can't operate from a sustainable place in our heart where we're breathing and we're taking in each moment, and we're in response rather than reaction. So that formula, especially with this Well-Fed Warrior program that Mia designed, if you really want to succeed, you really want to be synced up with having your heart lead you through this. And if your nervous system is crazy, the teachings don't really sink in that deep, and there's all kinds of facets that could be missed. So I definitely recommend taking this tincture once, twice a day. You really can't drink too much of it. It's all organic, and it's very strong. So I think once people try one full dose, they'll be like, whoa, yeah. 15 to 20 minutes later, you feel like your nerves got coated with aloe or something. You're kind of like, just meditated for like a half hour.
Yeah. And, you know, there's power in the tincture itself, but then, you know, talk to us really quickly for people that don't know about CBD, you know, what those benefits are and how our endocannabinoid system actually is part of our body.
Totally. So I thank you for asking me that too. CBD is a huge topic right now. I believe CBD is, this one is derived from hemp, and it's just an herb. It's been a little bit over kind of like, oh my God, it's a miracle cure. It's a beautiful anti-inflammatory. It totally is. And the cannabinoid system of CBD, which means like we as humans, we have an endocannabinoid system. And when we put CBD into our body, it's almost like a skeleton key. It will unlock things to recreate balance within the system. So CBD is great to take, but it's my opinion that when you mix it with other herbs, you amplify the benefits for a whole body, whole mental and emotional and spiritual experience. You're not just going for anti-inflammatory benefits. So if you're just drinking or topically applying just CBD, it's a pretty one-dimensional experience. It's like if you were doing a lavender spray, you would just be involving yourself with lavender. But our formulas encapsulate a bunch of other herbs for a very specific effect. And what that does to the CBD is amplify the benefits exponentially.
Yeah. So let's use the awareness as an example, because this is a And then there's some stuff in here that like is like I would have put this in my coffee anyways. So but the way that you mixed it, like it makes sense, and it's cool that it's like now in a little bottle. So this is the awareness and vitality, and it's the hawk totem. And so instead of talking about the hawk totem, or you can talk to me about it, but like I also want to know, so this one, the ingredients are MCT oil, maca, cordyceps, reishi, peppermint, and then the CBD. So that's what you're talking about on terms of you making that elixir.
Totally. Yeah. And so when you're taking reishi with cordyceps, with maca and CBD, you're really injecting your system with so much profound healing support. I mean, that's a massive adaptogenic tincture right there. So if you want to boost your immunity and you want to get out of like a coffee ritual, but you still want to feel lifted and have that go, 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 that tincture will provide that. It's all about flying high, seeing the bigger picture, really honing in on your internal power, and then unlocking all of those different energy structures so you can use energy here and now.
Totally. And maca is amazing, you guys, for that like awareness, especially and there's also like, it can be really profound for my chakra yogis out there, like your sexual energy and all of those things too, right? So feeling that security, feeling your identity and feeling powerful, you know, and then operating from right the inside out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Okay, and then the last one is the massage oil. So I haven't used this one yet. It smells awesome though. So tell me about this, because it says cocoa in it. So like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that one is super interesting. For me, it's about illuminating your own inner goodness and your own inner light, and bringing self-love to the table on the daily. So to do the program with Mia, the Well-Fed Warrior Project, and to have different supplemental structures around you to support you through it, the illuminating massage oil is perfect for nighttime home rituals where you're actually honoring the body that you walked through that whole day with. And you're taking the oil and you're rubbing it on yourself, putting love into your body. When you care for your body, you're loving yourself. It's super simple. So the herbs that are in that one are really about like making love to yourself. It's cacao, which is sensual medicine going back eons, but it also has the fire element in it, so it's supercharged. And then I believe that one has maca in it also, and sandalwood is a big player in that one. So sandalwood goes back to super ancient remedies for aphrodisiac effects. And what you said before about like this sexual energy, it's very, very important to start learning how to harness that and channel it into your creative projects. I think society has deemed sexual energy as such a one-dimensional thing. It's like, oh, you get horny and you have sex with someone, but it's so much more multifaceted when you really want to lose weight, or you really want to start a new project, or you really want to meet a new lover. To be able to hone in on that energy and channel it into different projects is going to take your game to the next level. So this bottle is really about creating that ritual with yourself. And if you start making love to yourself and activating that second chakra, you'll get messages and downloads about how you can further empower.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen how the consistency of it either. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like a normal, it doesn't feel like uber sticky. It's not really thick either.
It absorbs extremely quick. So I did jojoba oil, almond oil, and coconut oil. And it should absorb into your skin within like 5 minutes tops. You won't feel oily. You won't get it on like your clothing or anything. It goes in really quickly.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really cool. I didn't know about the massage oil in that context inside of it, but it makes so much sense. And really briefly, I didn't know this was going to come up on this episode, but like what we mentioned and that sexual healing and like you being your own lover is huge. Like you've got to feel confident. That's the seed of your confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it can grow when you meet people, and then it can grow when, you step out and start your own business. Then it can grow when you get on stage, right? Like life keeps getting bigger, but it's got to start there. So thank you for that reminder, Scarlet.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. So Scarlet's amazing. Obviously, she's an international bestseller, so you've got to go see and just understand what White Fox Medicinals is doing. And we're actually getting you guys all set up with it because she's giving you guys $25 off of the products I just showed you. So you got the awareness and vitality, hawk totem, whale, tranquility, right? Zen it down, zen it out.
Mhm.